Hey, welcome to Matt's Garage. Let me just tell you, if you are looking for Broncos throwing mud and bouncing off of rocks, this channel will be for you someday. But this episode, this is for the guys who are trying to build their own Broncos. So the rest of you, just tune on out, okay? So this is gonna be not that exciting an episode, but I'm gonna show you. A lot of guys ask me, hey, show me everything. This is like the process, and what I'm working on today is the doorposts and the hinges and all that stuff. So let's get to it. What I'm finding is that I'm fighting the outer rocker panel a bit because of the way it fits up against both the A post and the B post, the front and rear door post. So I bought the one-piece rocker panels here. Let me show you. You can see here the plane. This is the rocker. It's two parts, right? This is the door sill, and this is the rocker. The inner rocker sits back here. These are supposed to be on the same plane. Look at that. Look at how far off that is. Can you see that? It's like 2 inches. So in order to get this to match the contour of the lower door, lower fender, and lower quarter panel, you know, I'm gonna have to basically cut reliefs into this, like pie cuts, so that once I'm getting ready to put this into place, I can bend it into position. Now, I don't want to do that right now. I got enough going on. So what I want to do is bust out these spot welds, and then basically make it 2 separate pieces. So I recommend don't order the completed one. Order the separate ones and do it yourself. Plus, you can take up any tolerances or misalignments with this lower rocker between the door and the fender and the quarter, whereas when it's attached to this sill, you have no room for play, right? So that drill is hooped. Hoop-a-joop. Some of these are kind of close to the lip. The problem with this really nice spot weld cutter is it's got this set screw here that holds the spring-loaded pilot drill in place. So it really kind of limits how close you can get to things. Otherwise, it's great. This is the sort of expensive one on Amazon. Where was I? Right, pilots. Get a drill that works, huh? Ta-da! So I've got the upper hinge on the door over there, and I'm just attaching the lower hinge on the the lower hinge half on the upper part of the passenger door post. And what I was noticing was, as I was going through, it was getting a little bit rough. Now these are stainless bolts, and 5 years ago I would have just pushed through and probably rolled them up, but I know enough now to know that I should probably stop, think. What I'm doing is I'm basically running a tap through the one that was sticky. I might just run a tap through all of them just to make sure the threads are nice and clean. So I'm just going to do that on all 6 on both posts. Yep, nice and easy. Am I showing crack? A word to the wise. These hinges work 2 ways. It can quick disconnect when this is attached to the body and the door can come off, and it can quick disconnect when you're trying to hang a door and this will just fall right off. I kind of already dropped the hinge, so that's how I know that. What about all the time you said you had the answer? It's about where the hinge needs to be, or where the post needs to be. If you guys are laughing your butts off at home, hey, you try it. Let me start by pulling this off, actually. So, do you see this indent that runs up alongside of the kick panel? Well, theoretically, this front channel is supposed to sit in there. I'll show you what I mean. So it should very nicely sort of nest in there. You see where my line is? It should be like that. And that's causing me to be a little bit off of my rocker. I'm just amazed that there's a door on there. Yeah, low expectations, man. Low expectations. You want to see? First hang ever. So see that gap? A little tight. Over here, a little fat. Hang the fender. How do you take the fender? Oh, I gotta take the door off to hang the fender. How in the crystal blue persuasion am I supposed to do that? That's kind of a... Oh God, look at you. Crystal blue persuasion. Look, these holes are nowhere near where they're supposed to be. Nowhere near! Oh man! And then got bummed to the maximum, man. Total bummer, man. Pardon me while I dry this off. Alright, got the old fender. Mangled old fender here. Crystal blue persuasion. Alright, you're gonna start getting me upset here at any moment. Back down here. Struggle. I'm showing you the whole thing, man. I'm not editing this at all. You could so easily cut all this stuff out. Show you the happy, shiny people. Just saying, so. Shoulder is getting tired. Put this upper hinge back on. That method definitely didn't work. Don't try that at home. I was able to get, it's super tight on this edge, still loose on that edge, but you know, I'm getting a feel for it. It's getting there. So I know I need to move that pillar back a little bit to get my correct gaps. All right, so I moved this over about a ½ inch. And now it's lined up with that side of the kick panel where it's supposed to fit in. Sometimes you just gotta trust Ford, you know what I'm saying? And then, let me get the fender off first, because I can't really get this on. Get in there, get in there. Oh. Ooh, it's not the fender. So that was like too much. I know there's play in the hinges, don't get me wrong. I know I can make this adjustment with the hinges, but I can't really get this gap with the hinges, I don't think. It's a lot of work. It's like everything else with this truck. Sometimes you just gotta stop what you're doing and think. I made a chart of all my dimensions, my original dimensions. So I should theoretically be able to match my dimensions here. Wow. 39, and where did I measure from? Center of sheet metal hole, not threads. Center of sheet metal hole. Can I get there, Charlie? I'm absorbing a lot of information right now because this doorpost introduces a lot of complexity to the situation. In my mind, maybe to you guys it's simple, but to me it's complex. I know what this dimension needs to be, and I'm not at it, right? So I'm about a ½ inch shy. When I push this back ½ inch, what happens? This gap becomes too big, right? So the answer is not to move this just blindly back ½ inch. But this does need to come forward a ½ inch or so. If I do that, I'm back to where I started, which is the gap is too far in the back. As I said, the dimension from this edge, the center of this hole should be 39 and 1/32. Great. I'm at like 38 3/4. So I'm 5/32 shy. So what I'm trying to figure out is if I move, I can't just move the post. I have to move the kick panel forward. So let's talk about that for a second. If I move this kick panel forward, that sends me, those are my alignment holes. I'm way low. Okay, I'm not as concerned about that, but that sends me that way. Now, from a windshield post perspective, this is about where it needs to be, but I think a 1/4 inch is acceptable. I can move this forward a 1/4 inch this way and it wouldn't kill anything. I still don't have my piano hinge in. What about this thing? Okay, can this go forward a 1/4 inch? Well, it can, because what is keying this in is this firewall, which is keyed to that, and that is negotiable. Okay, that is a negotiable dimension. What isn't a negotiable dimension? So I got my dimensions here, and of course I'm such a genius that I wrote the dimension on the firewall to the front core support. I got it to 34 and 21 32nds. Can you imagine? What was I thinking, right? I made it that accurate. What? I didn't say what it was to the inside to. Inside or outside. So I have no idea. I also don't know if it's from the inside lip of the, I mean, where on the core support is it supposed to be that? I have no idea. I guess what I'm trying to say is this can come forward. The whole thing can come forward. What does that affect? That affects the fender. Right. So when I try to hang the fender, what happens? So if I move this is already, one, it's low, which means this is high. Change of plans again. So I talked to a subscriber, Ryan, thanks Ryan, down in Oregon, who ended up having to cut down the top of his kick panel. So it got me thinking, where am I at? Now that I got it this way, I'm now confident about the locations of this. Okay, this is a good base here. So I'm going to take the front apart, take this windshield frame off, put the post on, put the rocker where it's supposed to be alignment hole wise, put the post on, make sure the post, this top is level and the dimensions are what they're supposed to be, get that post in. Once I know those are right, I can then adjust all my front end stuff to match that, I think. All right, I'm trying method B here. Basically, I got this mocked up to the same dimensions as the original door. Let's give it a go. What's the worst that could happen? I've already done the work. You gotta see this. Oh man, it's classy. All right, plan C. I have attached wing wall to this the way I wanted it. And Carl, it's awfully close to where we had it, so don't judge me. I'm sorry, I had to try. The windshield gap is especially nice. So that method kind of worked, guys. I can just take the door off the hinge. Shit, no I can't. I did it. I freaking did it. Nice gap. Slightly bigger up there, but I kind of got that figured out. And basically this has no structure in it, so when I give it some structure, that comes out and fills nicely. So, whew, it's a lot of hard work.